Dr. Kennedy Graham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to pick up perhaps where Julian Gent has left off and just look or draw the attention of the House to the regulatory impact statement in a little bit further detail. We have not had much time, as has been pointed out, to explore it. But the Minister has said, and probably only she could say it with the grace that she did, namely that the government is no doubt about to take a few hits here and there along the way to restoring the one-for-one, and that's all good fun in the House here. But I don't think she needs to look to opposition members necessarily for those hits. She's got it right there in the regulatory impact statement, I suggest. The Ministry for Environment has not spared the government much in its own analysis of things. Was she, the Ministry's statement, regulatory impact statement, does recall in paragraph 10 what we all ourselves recall, that the transitional phase, the changes to the original ETS design back in 2009 did a number of things. It introduced the 1-for-2, it deferred agriculture, the primary ones, it continued free allocation. Those were probably the three, and then the fourth, which was not changed but should have, is that it allowed just the continuation of these semi-fraudulent credits that lacked environmental integrity to come in, allowing this country's policies to become one-quarter corrupt. And I think that's arguably, in terms of our own integrity, the biggest single mistake in our policy over the last 7-8 years. And that's got us into the strife that we're in. But if we then turn to page 43 and look at the heading that the Ministry has identified here, ETS design and operation is inefficient in light of changed circumstances. That, to me, is the most single significant point made in the regulatory impact statement, because what it's saying is that whatever the merits of those transitional phase changes we did to the original Labor ETS back in 2009, whatever they were, whatever the merits, they are obsolete now in light of the changed circumstances, and especially as encapsulated in the Paris Agreement. So that, and if you look at it, para 7, they are essentially scolding the government. In the absence of clear aims for the carbon market established by the government, this means unit supply for the New Zealand ETS over the long term is unclear. This does not allow participants to form expectations about the future emissions price path and factor this into investment decisions. Para 8. New Zealand ETS has been oversupplied by around 150 million units will be over the period 21 to 30. The 1-for-2 undermines the principle that 1 unit should equal 1 tonne. Its presence is a barrier to aligning the ETS level of ambition with the national target, which is on a 1-for-1 basis. So, I mean, the benign interpretation of all this, we could probably get common denominator across the parties here, and just conclude the benign interpretation is that things have changed so fundamentally that those 2009 transitions are immediately now rendered archaic and obsolete. And I sense that the government and especially the Minister is recognising that some fundamental things have to happen. Now, okay, restoring 1-for-1 tonight is a very good first step, and we're going to vote for it. But it is the baby steps, and there is a need, hence my SOP. But beyond my SOP, I would just implore the government through the Minister to, when the time comes for the Paris Agreement to come down the track into this House, that is the ultimate and arguably the most critical opportunity for this House, cross-party, to get its act together as a country to move forward. And I'm sure I speak for the Green Party when I say that we will be very much prepared to bring a constructive and positive approach to a cross-party dialogue pertaining to the Paris Agreement. including the implementing legislation. But let's not shy away from that challenge. Let's do it all together, Mr. Chairman, and let's take a constructive approach to it. Thank you very much.